The Souls series is a group of games that can inspire most to some of the best games out there. First, Dark Souls in particular is remembered for its subtle storytelling, remarkable art direction, and interconnected level design. Like many Souls fans, I used to suffer from severe Stockholm Syndrome, meaning that I was doomed to a cycle of replaying the same games over and over again. I only managed to escape my addiction by discovering a new form of entertainment to latch onto. The results speak for themselves. However, over the years I've noticed become more and more disillusioned with the game. In particular, the second half of Dark Souls, where I believe the game takes a dramatic dip in quality in some places. And honestly man, I'm not sure I have the courage to make it through Tomb of the Giants anymore. Most of my problems with the later half of the game, like New Londo or Duke's Archives, are likely due to a simple issue of burnt out. It's like I've said, I've exhausted the shit out of these games, man. For one area I can't write off is burnt out, and has always left a bad taste in my mouth. An area that is so unfinished, so random in its level design and enemy placement, and frankly, so fucking annoying to play through. Like bro, I can no longer turn a blind eye to the ass dragons, dude. You probably guessed by now that the area I'm talking about is Lost Izalith. Most discussion around this area is usually centered around the notorious Bed of Chaos. Though I've noticed there's never really much talk about the actual level itself. Like for real, I can only find one Reddit post. Anyway, I've decided I was going to do a little research in the game, attempt to validate my opinions. And by research, I mean Convent F on Wiki, and then call it a day. And man, if it worked in school, it'll work on YouTube, so welcome to my PowerPoint presentation on the creation of Dark Souls. Dark Souls is an action role-playing game developed by From Software. It's the spiritual successor to Demon's Souls, which was released in Japan 2011 to disappointing sales. Reviewers stated at the time that the game was too difficult, which in turn meant game bad, when in reality, technology just had advanced to the point where IGN guides were available. Miyazaki even said at the time that he believed he would never be given another chance to create a dark fantasy game, and was now doomed to a life of developing mecha after mecha. However, due to the influential streamers of the West importing the game, Demon's Souls began to gain traction overseas, was eventually released outside Japan, where its sales exploded and was given the title of the hardest PS3 game ever. Around this time, Miyazaki was surprisingly allowed to make a sequel to Demon's Souls. However, due to a combination of the Demon's Souls name being tarnished from bad initial sales in Japan and IP issues, so pretty much they didn't want to be sued by Sony, a new game was created using the same template. This game was Dark Race. Or it was until Miyazaki was told that there were racist implications. Yeah man, definitely dodged a bit with that one. Finally, Dark Souls was born. Alright, so now I've got a bit of context. What we've got to take away from that is that Dark Souls wasn't some highly anticipated sequel. It was a sequel to a game that had a cult following overseas, but overall was a financial screw-up. So as you can expect, these guys weren't working with the biggest budget in the first place, and their goal of creating an interconnected world that prioritized exploration was no simple task. To be able to finish the game with the money and time available, costs had to be cut. This finally leads us to Lost Izalith, which is the most egregious example of cut content and the rush feeling present in the later half of the game. However, there's very little evidence on what exactly was cut from development, which leaves us a lot of room for speculation. Some people even believe that From Software wanted the game to release before Skyrim, which is expected to dominate the market. The general consensus is that the countdown clock was ticking, and they needed to find ways to pad out their level. This would explain the obvious use of the copy and paste tool in the Demon Ruins, which is the area before Lost Izalith. Even the boss of this area is a reskin the Salmon Demon, man. I let slide the first time because it was an optional boss, but the third time's taking the piss, alright? Like Jesus Christ, man, everyone knows you gotta change the words around a bit when copy and pasting. It's just simple class, dude. By the way, if you're wondering why I skipped over Ceaseless Discharge, it's because I've never actually seen any of these attacks since I always fight them after Quelaag using the cheese strat. Sorry man, I need the early game souls. You gotta respect the hustle, dude. Moving past Demon Ruins, we finally make it to Lost Izalith. The first thing you'll probably notice is Miyazaki's interesting decision. Move away from traditional restrictions like a floor, instead have a character traverse the map by walking on lava. This acts as a limitation for the player to maintain difficulty, and at the same time is a design choice to make the level stand out. The other three areas of Dark Souls' latter half have environmental limitations like the ones seen in Lost Izalith. However, I find most of these to be very gimmicky and tiresome once the charm wears off. The amount of lava also seems just like it was placed to save time for the team. Though this time save comes at the cost of the player being on fire most of the level.
Fuck this shit!
To negate the lava damage, the game gives you a rig that you will receive after killing the centipede demon. The boss fight is usually over in less than 1 minute unless the camera decides to turn on you. Oh yeah, by the way, just in case you forgot you're on fire, the game gives you some light campfire smile as a friendly reminder. Miyazaki also decided that the best enemy to fight while traversing this hot terrain was to use what can only be described if somebody cropped a dragon in half and gave the bottom half sentience. Like man, I'd love to hear Miyazaki's thought process with the ass dragons. And dude was so confident that he placed like 20 of them. Pushing on, it's a pretty straightforward walk to the boss. You take a quick detour to the bridge and fight a Tar Knight demon, but otherwise it's just more statue demons to store you. There is a collapsing floor you can go to do some stuff with Sigmar's quest and get a red Tar Knight slab, but yeah, not worth it in my opinion. Once you're at the Fell Gate, you'll find a Pyromancer waiting for you. She's pretty much a basic Pyromancer user, but she can sometimes catch you with a cheeky Firestorm, just to make the boss walk even more fun. Unfortunately, you're at the Bed of Chaos, man. The reigning slap champion since 2011. To beat the Bed of Chaos, you're required to destroy 3 bugs. The first bug is honestly not that difficult to kill. However, once destroyed, the boss adds pyromancy to its list of attacks. Now run over and kill the second and third and boom, you're done. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, if you manage to get past the collapsing floors, random firestorms, and double slaps, you officially beat one of the Lord of Cinders. It's only up from here, man. Kind of. Listen, if you made it this far, you're probably thinking to yourself, bro, why are you shit-talking an 11-year-old game that we know had budget issues? Kinda cringe, man. Well, I'm gonna be real, half of the reason I made this video was just me wanting to rant, as Dark Souls has become really outdated and unfun for me lately, and Izalith was the area I wanted to make an example of. I just want to hear what your guys' opinions were on the latter half of the game, and if it still held up for you when returning to the game. Though what finally got me to make this video was my recent playthrough of Elden Ring. It amazed me how fresh and consistent that game is in quality, with the early, mid, and late games never having a dull moment. Like honestly, I can't think of a place that was annoying to explore, which is an obvious statement of Miyazaki and his team's genius, and how they were finally able to make the game they wanted to. So I think it's important we talk about the flaws of the early games to recognize how much the Souls formula has perfected over the years. And I know that if Miyazaki was able to remake Dark Souls today, Lost Izalith and the other parts of the game will be at the same standard as Elden Ring. Like dude, the framework of Izalith was there, man. You just unfortunately didn't have the time or money to follow through. Hey, to back this up, even Elden Ring is a fun lava level. Dark Souls will always hold a place in my heart as one of my favourite games. I know I'll keep returning to it for the rest of my life. I'll just maybe speedrun through Lost Izalith. It's nothing personal, man, it's just how it is. And maybe between the giants too.
Fuck you!